Hi, welcome. I can see people coming in. I'm just going to give a couple of minutes for those of you coming in. Keep coming in. This is always the awkward time at the start of the webinar where Hannah and I look really uncomfortable at each other, waiting for people to join. To all those that have actually joined really quickly, one, well done for being so prompt, but two, could any of you just drop me a note and let me know that you can hear me loud and clear? If you could just pop it into the chat or the Q&A box, that would be great. Oh, look, apparently it's the Q&A box, not the chat box. So if you could put it in the Q&A box, that would be amazing that you can hear me. Someone be brave. This is where everyone hopes somebody else does it, or none of you can hear me. Yes, Tanya, you won. Well done. Thank you very much. Oh, and then Trevor, now you're all flowing in. Yay. Thank you, everybody, for confirming it. And welcome to this. I'm going to give everybody a couple more, about another 30 seconds, and then we'll kick this off because I know time is very, very precious. Right. Oh, they're coming in thick and fast now. Well, you'll be glad to know, for those of you on the call, that we're dialing in from Sydney, which is lovely. It's really nice to be back on this side of the world again. So we were a couple of years out for being able to come over here. So it's an absolute joy to be back on this side. Right, I think it's 11:02. Let's get going. You guys who joined, get the whole lot. Everyone else can just catch up as they join in, as they join the session. So thank you for joining this webinar today. It's all about our new reporting feature in Predict. My name is Helen Cockle. I'm the COO here at Futurely. And you can see I'm joined by, we've both chosen to wear the same outfit, the Futurely uniform, but I'm joined here today by our CEO, Hannah. Hannah, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. Yes, and thanks for saying about the shirt thing, because I was going to do the same. Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much for giving up your time, everyone. Hopefully you'll find this informative and marginally fun, because we'll try and make that happen. So yes, over to you, Helen.
Okay, perfect. Well, look, this session is all about our new reporting feature, which lands on Monday. It is designed to give you the ultimate in ease when it comes to creating weekly, monthly board packs. But as you would expect from us, it also gives you the ultimate flexibility to create exactly the reports you want, depending on the complexity of your client. Now, Hannah is, you said Helen. No, Hannah, I'm Helen. That's the jet lag. Hannah is going to show you around all the reporting features and exactly how to use it. But I am going to steal the first 10 minutes of your time because we've actually had some other releases in Predict, and I just want to make sure that everybody's up to speed on the newest features, including formula-based forecasting. So I am going to steal the first 10 minutes. I am going to be really quick because I know that you really all just want to see the reporting, but I can't not take this opportunity to basically show you the new bits and bobs. Right, going to share my screen. Hannah, do tell me if I get this wrong and you can't see my screen. Can you see it? Perfect. Right, for those of you who don't know, Predict was designed, we launched into the market a couple of years ago, and we started very much looking at the forecasting. We have always been about forecasting here at Futurely, with the value it can deliver to your end clients. And of course, it's become ever more valuable in the market that we've seen over the past couple of years, and actually continuing to see with the rising interest rates, and particularly on our side of the world, inflation and all the other bits and bobs, which are fairly dark cloud of doom hovering over most SMEs. What we've now, from a forecasting perspective, and I guess we've had an existing forecasting product in the market. With Predict, we focused on a couple of core areas, and it was about enabling you guys to bring forecasting into a compliance workflow. We know there's clients who have the need for advisory services, and they've actually possibly already engaged with you. You're probably using Advisor for them or any other tools that potentially you've already got in your stack, but it's about what can we do to scale that advisory to the rest of your clients. And that's really where Predict comes into play. And we thought about that workflow and thought, how do we make it as easy as possible for you to be able to do that? Well, first up, it's about delivering an instant budget as quickly as you possibly can and as accurately as we possibly can. And that's really where the idea of Predict came from. So as soon as you connect up a Xero, a QBO, soon to be Sage Business Cloud to Predict, we will create a 3-year forecast. And it's as accurate as we can possibly make it because we combine, I'm just going to move my faces out of the way. We combine all due invoices and bills that are sitting in the bookkeeping software with predictions that we've automatically generated across the P&L. We then combine all of that with the balance sheet to create a proper, accurate 3-way cash flow forecast. Now, to make it as accurate as possible, we haven't just done last year's actuals or just looked at what happened last September and lumped into this September. We actually look at each of the historical transactional performance of each of those account lines. We do that because each transaction has a different impact on the business and on the regularity of the business, but also from a cash flow perspective. So we look at each transaction, we see, is it cash? Is it invoiced? Do they pay late? Do they pay early? How often does it appear? Isn't it an anomaly transaction? It's about 150 different algorithms we run every transaction through. We then take that information to forward project the transactional performance in each of these account lines, zip it up to create that prediction. So this initial first budget, if you like, when you connect the bookkeeping software, is as accurate as we can possibly make it. And you're running at about 85% of accuracy. So it gives you a brilliant platform from which you can then have additional conversations. To help those first conversations, what we've done is out of the box, Hannah's going to come into the bespoke reporting, but out of the box, we've given you performance pages. These performance pages are designed, again, to give you immediate access to core business KPIs. So you're sitting with a client, you've got this first budget, you now want to introduce them to it and start that conversation. The performance pages, I'm just on the overview page here at the moment, we can look to the year ahead and you've got critical business performance indicators. So what's their projected net profit? What's happening actually from a credit control perspective? Are there some compliance issues that we need to resolve? We've also got things like their predicted GST payments. So again, you can start to link these predictions into the compliance conversations you're having, but you can also start to, by using things like net profit, start to have those conversations about, look, how can we affect that? What's the value I can add to change that number, to increase it? And of course, then things like value-based pricing become very, very simple. Now, of course, as you would expect from us, we don't just give you a budget that's out of the box. We've then given you complete flexibility to turn that budget into a forecast. So if I just go back to the forecasting engine, this is where some of the latest releases have just landed. Because if I just go into the sales, you've then got, there's the predicted forecast lines. There are the lines that we've automatically generated on that first budget. Up here, we have the ability to add our own. So you can toggle off any of the automated ones and then hit add manual prediction to be able to add your own forecast assumptions in. As for any of you who advise the customers, and I've seen a load of you already on the list, so many of you will recognize this, we've got a freestyle method, so you can add in a particular amount per month. You can do a repeating number, so it's $200 a month for the next 12 months. And of course, you've got unit-based. We're going to sell 25 units at $30, for example. But we've also brought in a formula builder. So I'm just going to open up this one because this is our formula builder, so well regarded in Advisor that we knew we had to put it across into Predict. We knew that we had to give you the same level of capability. But as we like to do, how can we do it even better? And that's what we've done in this formula builder. So you've got the option to be able to create any formulas that you want. So you can choose anything from anything in a chart of accounts. You can look at predicted data and create formulas against predicted data. We've also given you if statements. So here's one I created earlier in true Blue Peter fashion. In this one, we're doing a forecast for a sales commission line, for example. And if the partner sales are above a certain number, then the commission will be paid at 20%. If it's below, it will be paid at 10%. So those if calculations are going to prove invaluable for those clients that have got variables within their forecast. So we've now added that level of capability into here to make it even easier for you. So in addition to that, I'm just going to come out of this very, very quickly. We've also, just before I scoot across to Hannah to show you the juicy bit, we've also given the capability to be able to forecast more complex methods. So there's a G-Sheet integration, which enables things like payroll to make forecasting payroll really simple with the correct cash movements with around, so if you're looking to hire 10 members of staff, add those members of staff, add their salaries, the Predict software will then do the rest of it. And it'll accurately predict their super payments, their actual salary payments, their Medicare, all of those individual payments that then impact from that one salary movement. So that kind of gives you the overview of where we've gone on forecasting. Loads of capability. It's definitely parity plus to our existing product in the market and gives you a whole level of flexibility. But now, as from Monday, we are launching the wraparound reporting feature that enables you to create bespoke reports and obviously use those templated month-end or weekly management reports as your client does need. So I'm going to stop sharing. I will take charge of the Q&A because I can see some questions have landed. So I'll monitor that while Hannah takes you through the new drag and drop reporting. Over to you, Hannah.
Well, before you come to me, what I'm going to confess is that we're in an apartment in Sydney. The Wi-Fi is pretty shocking. And I know for a fact, if I demo here, you're not going to hear nor see half of it because I could hardly hear Helen. So Helen, if we can just turn our videos off very quickly and swap places, that would be great. Give us 2 seconds. Thanks, folks. Hi folks. Sorry. That was, yeah, I'm like, yeah, there's no way you're going to hear anything that I'm saying if I do this at all. Okay, so it's my turn to share my screen. Just before I do, what I want to kind of talk about is that we have Reporting in Advisor. There are many reporting apps out there. There's lots of BI tools out there as well. And we've really taken a from the ground up approach in how we design this. We've looked at how can we create, the whole point about everything that we're doing with Predict and the new platform is about your efficiencies, helping you generate ROI, not having you to spend lots of time in the preparation of information. So your workflows are really, really key. So creating reports should at least be, you know, fun if we can possibly make it that way and not something that's onerous. And if you're still using Excel, we really want you to stop doing that. So I'm going to share my screen. Desktop 1. There we go. And Helen, can you see?
Yeah.
Marvelous. Thank you very much. Okay, so you will notice if I just minimize all of your little faces and get them out of the way. So what you'll be able to see is, again, at the top, again, this is something really key. If you're an advisor user versus a Predict user, you are inside the organization, just as you would be in Xero, for instance. So we're inside Sales Example. It's a demo account. We've got the performance pages that Helen talked about, the predictions, the importing, and in this new tab that you'll see is reporting. When you hit reporting, you're going to find that there is a create your own section, anything that you've created recently. And then there's this lovely big blank thing here, which I'm going to talk about just at the end of it. So just put a pin in that one. We're going to come back to that again for efficiency gains later. So the first thing is that in your create your own, you'll see that there are portrait reports, there's landscape reports and dashboards, because we want you to be able to, if you create something in a dashboard view and you realize that you then want to turn that into a monthly management report pack, for instance, you should just be able to change the format, duplicate, change the format. Again, this is about speed of use. It shouldn't be in 2 separate areas. It should be one place for you to do that one thing that you need to do. You've got the concept of draft reports. So we've got a draft report here in quarterly review. When I can either view it, I can duplicate it, delete, and I can publish to live reports. As soon as we publish to the live reports, everybody who's got access to that organization in the permissions settings will then be able to see that. So when you're still editing something, you would keep it in the draft state. You'll be able to also lock reports. So if you don't want anyone to edit it, you can lock them as well. But without further ado, we're going to go and have a look at the quarterly review report that has been built by Top Accounts Advisory for the Acme Co Group. And so you can see it now, there's a little icon to say that this is what you're looking at the moment. And as we scroll through, you can see things like table of contents are in here. We've got an executive summaries in here, and we've got some beautiful charts, tables, etc. The design side of things, we've really taken a lot of time with to make sure that it's clear, it's beautiful, you can look unbelievably professional as you're going forward. But let's get into the edit mode. So we're going to go into edit mode. Here's my page setup. If I want to change it, I can do. There's different paper sizes. I can change the margins if I wish to do that as well. So footers and things can be added. I'm going to fit the canvas so that we've got a good view of everything. And then on the right hand side, you've got your control bar. You can minimize it if you wish. And if we want to bring it back up again, I'm just going to hit the widgets. So as I scroll down, you will see that we've got these different boxes. Every time you hit a box, you're then in edit mode. It's very, very straightforward. We have a chart here, for instance, but what I'm going to do is, this is the one that I prepared earlier. Let's build one from scratch, because I think that's probably where you're going to see the joy of the drag and drop functionality that we've built.
So we're going to go and build a dashboard, which is wonderful. Hold on a second. We are, sorry, the demo gods and apartment Wi-Fi. How wonderful. There we are. Always going to happen, isn't it? Please hold callers. There we are. So we've got our dashboard and we have widgets. So on the widget side of things, we've got pre-made widgets that you might want to add to it. So cash in from invoices, if we just drag and drop this over, it's already pre-made. If we want to go and see our top sales accounts, we can bring it over, it's pre-made. I can resize it to whatever size I wish. Wouldn't do it that small, but I'm going to drop it up here and so on and so forth. Where it gets to the builder, this is where things start to get really interesting. So we have multiple chart types, we have tables and we have scorecards. I'm going to use one of these, I always get them wrong, Helen, bar, column, I think it's a stacked.
You've broken me now because I don't know the answer either. Just
stacked bar chart. And what we've done is we've used pivot table kind of logic. If you want to build something, everything is drag and drop. That's the entire point of all of this. So on the right-hand side, you have all of your data sets. We've got financial fields, our calendar fields, row and chart formulas. It's not a table. You'll see that in a second when we have our column formulas will pop up. Within a very, very short time period. And when I say short time period, I mean very short, i.e. the next couple of months. You'll also have a fantastic non-financial driver section here as well that we're working on at the moment. But to make things super easy, I'm just going to drag so the whole profit and loss is in here. We've got all of our accounts. We've got any predictions that are inside it as well. So there's the entire data set for this organization is here, but it's as simple as dragging and dropping the entire profit and loss. That simple. There it is. We need to work out what calendar fields that we want. Well, let's put it in for quarters. And then what are we going to display? Well, we open it up and we've got the opportunity. It's looking rather busy at the moment. So I don't want any predictions. I don't want accounts and I don't want categories. I just want the categories shown here. How do I change these things? Do I change the axis? I can change the rounding. I can turn that into thousands. I can make the scaling change. But if I want to then turn that into a line graph, I can do. And of course, if I want to turn it into a table, I can do. So let's just bring it down a little bit and make it a bit bigger. And I'm going to scroll here. And what you'll notice is that you've got column formulas as well that have appeared. So we've got various different formulas that are available for you to use. We've got monthly bandings, we've got quarterly column formulas, we've got period column formulas. So if I want to choose period variance, drag and drop that into the columns and hey presto. Come on, internet, there we are. You've got your variance columns there. And of course, if you want to then build things out, we also have our wonderful formula builder. Now, Helen's also already talked about the functionality that we've got in the formula builder within the prediction side of things. Well, we've used that logic for you to then enter your formula name. You can then put the formula within a group. So if you wanted to create revenue as a percentage of, wages as a percentage of sales, you can do. You've also got your if statements here, which again can be used and reused. But the whole point about this is it makes it fast. As soon as you've created something, it's there for reuse. The entire system is therefore building these fast reports out. But where this now becomes really, really interesting are the things that are also going to be dropping. So functionality first, that's absolutely what we're looking at. And if I go back and give you that view of our quarterly review report. So this could be for board reports, for funding applications, for monthly management reporting, for forecast tracking. Any of those things can be used with this. But what we're then going to be building as kind of a next level of functionality are the templates, the templated area. There's some things that we're doing to make sure that your workflow, your time is not spent building things, but it's actually spent engaging with your clients, improving their bottom line, and ultimately generating ROI for you guys. So what's going to appear here within the next month or so are templates. So community templates will be created by the Futurely team. And what we want to do is really encourage collaboration globally.
amongst all of our accounting partners, so that if you have created a fabulous management accounting report and you think that other firms or small businesses would be able to benefit from what you've created, you'll be able to send that up to us. We'll review and then we'll publish it out for other people to use. So you're going to have a lot of templates here to be able to use from. We've taken inspiration from Canva, or I have taken inspiration from Canva, one of your wonderful businesses over here, one of your unicorns over here. Report building should be that easy, right? Drag and drop. Drag the data in. We have all of this daily information that we can choose from to build out reports, whether it's KPIs, whether it's historical data, whether it's future data, whether it's analyzed data. But if we want to get you working as quickly as possible, we're going to give you templates. So these are single or multi-page. If you then want to create something for your firm that's completely for you, you could use one of ours or build your own. And then the workspace templates will be applicable to any organization that you've got connected to Futurely. You'll be able to filter by these headings up at the top. It's going to give you a lot of time saving. Another thing from the time saving perspective is scheduling. So scheduling is going to be dropping soon as well. If you have clients who, want to get a report weekly, for instance, well, that takes you time, even if it's a monthly or a quarterly cadence. So our scheduling will enable you to create your report or use a template and update it to the organization that you've got. So literally you're doing things in a few clicks and you have really rich, powerful information. And then you'll be able to schedule them on the cadence that you require. There'll be a review step for you being able to, check it before it goes if you want to use that. And then that will land in your client's inbox. This is about helping to, as much as we can, automate advisory. There are other things that are coming, but I'm going to stop there. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Helena, do we have any questions, or is there anything that would like me?
I'm not going to read these in order, actually, because there's one that's really relevant to what you're just talking about, where these templates would probably have an option for company logos and insert disclaimers and footers. So do you want to answer that one?
Yeah, absolutely. And I know obviously here it's very important for some of you that you've got professional standards legislation that you have to assign to. So what you're going to see, if I hit edit, at the moment, we've got some widgets, we've got the builder. Your templates are also going to appear here. Obviously, we've got text boxes. Images are going to be there. You're going to have a footer scheme so that you can then drop your logo, apply a full footer to any of the templates that sit within your workspace. Literally everything, and including page numbers. It's going live on Monday, guys. Page numbers are coming tomorrow. So it's one of the last things they've been working on. But yeah, footers, I think they're really important. And again, we don't want you having to do it per report. There'll be a workspace setting. You'll be able to do that for your firm, and then everything will apply to that. So yes, logos will be there. So any image you'll be able to drop in.
I think on white labeling as well, it's probably worth just a quick note on white labeling.
Yes,
it's really popular. No, it's fine, because it's such a popular feature in our advisor, and actually we've just taken it up a level in Predict. So you're going to have the ability to be able to change the colors of charts and graphs, add logos, all of the things you would expect for a white label report, but also within your workspace have flexibility. So you can apply that template to all of your management reports, or just some of them, and have a different color way for another one. You may have a client that's going for VC funding, for example, and want to put their own branding on a report. You've got total flexibility. And Han, you've got it on screen, actually. Do you just want to run down it?
Yeah. I mean, at the moment, for first release, we've got, which is Monday, which we keep harping on about. For first release, there are some customization options, but this is going to go up a gear so that literally you will be able to. So for at the moment, we've got the table header rows, columns, and table rows are separated out. This is going to be then further grouped by if you want to have specific formatting for category rows, group rows, prediction rows. You can create the size, the stroke level of the cell if you want to. It really will be able to, you'll be really able to drill down on things just like you can in Excel. We want to give you the same functionality from a personalization perspective as that. But to Helen's point, themes are key to all of this. It's all very well you creating, the color scheme that you wish for your firm or for a specific client. So we're going to give you the option to have multiple themes that you can use within your workspace as well for charts and for tables. So it really removes the need for white labeling. You'll be able to completely professionalize with your logo in the footer. Your branding will be there. your first pages. Again, if you move to the template side of things, you'll have cover pages that you can filter by. You can save that for everybody to use, get everything just exactly set up as you want it for your firm to reuse. We've really thought about, if I think you have to, well, I bear in mind, and I think one should bear in mind, that we've been doing this for nearly a decade, and the amount of feedback that we have from our existing customers as well as new in, really, what's the perfect solution? What is the perfect solution when it comes to this? So, that's what we're delivering for you.
A really good question, actually. It's probably the right time to answer this. Does Futurely Predict have all of the features of the older advisor platform? If not, how far along are those additional features and when will they land?
Great question. Thank you, Helen. I'm going to stop sharing so that I can see your face and you can see mine. So we internally have been calling this Parity Plus. So this is what we're working to. Advisor is an epic product. We did all of our VC fundraising with it. We did our acquisition with it. But the technology that we built Advisor on has moved on, which is why we've replatformed into Predict. The plan at the moment, so there are things, some of you will be watching and going, well, where's tracking? Where's consolidation? They're on the way. What we hope to achieve is that Parity Plus, so when I say tracking, you're going to have much more flexibility over how you're going to be able to visualize your information in that manner, and also how you can prepare forecasts in that manner. When I say consolidation, it's not going to be single currency consolidation, it will be multi-currency consolidation. You'll also be able to cross-compare any organizations that sit within the organization. This work has, it's been like an absolute love of mine, having to, redesigning all of this in the perfect manner. So Easter is what we're gunning for. If we can do it beforehand, we're going to try to, but Easter is where we feel that we should have Parity Plus. And then we've got some fun coming. Can I talk about the stuff that's coming afterwards, Helen?
Yeah, I think, yes, you can. I'll let you, but I think just focus in on things like the consolidation tracking, which are parity, so we have this internal phrase of Parity Plus, and it's about what we've done well, how can we raise it up a level, even though it's really loved an advisor, how do we make it even better? And I think it's worth on the consolidation just drilling into the detail as to why it's better. So do you want to tackle that?
The point is that, we haven't got multi-currency at the moment, and that's, we know that certainly in this, area in Australia and New Zealand, you have many family trusts. You've got a lot of companies that have got multi-currency requirements, and we have to be able to support that. And so that will be covered, as well as, there are little nuances between, year-end dates and them having different year-end dates and all of those things. It's just really being able to go, right, what problems do you need to solve like this? Why are you having to do workarounds? Within a few months' time, I want to be able to look face to face with my customers and go, there are just no workarounds required. This is the best, tool in the marketplace. End of story. So we're really excited about what's coming. The release on Monday it's excellent. You're going to love playing with it. Very fast. You will be able to get everything that you need from it. But like we say, Parity Plus is this mission that we have to get you as quickly as we can do to just kind of reporting and forecasting.
Those advanced features. I think we've just had Omar's just come in and gone, what's there's no consolidation reporting? It's don't panic. It's about the Monday release is huge and does the reporting that you need on that one Xero entity, if you like. Following that will be the consolidated reporting, the tracking, those next level advanced features. So yes, we will have it. That will be landing probably, as Hannah said, the first quarter of next year.
Yeah.
Won't be any later. We're really tight on our timings. We've delivered on this one as we expected to, so it won't be late. It is definitely there, but it will just be the other side of Christmas. So sit tight for it. For those clients that don't need consolidation, then Monday's release will do everything that you need it to be able to do. Just before you go into some of the other pieces, which I'm sure you want to talk about, Han, Costa has asked, will the current advisory dashboard set up for client transfer to the new platform? So it's the support mechanism really, isn't it, behind how we're going to help people migrate that want to. Do you want to take this or do you want me to take it?
I think you can. Your wonderful team are running it, Helen.
So I think the good news for our Australian clients, which is why it is lovely to be back, is that we have established a comprehensive team on this side of the world again. I know that during the R&D and the development that we went through with Predict. During COVID, it was really difficult to get out of here. We definitely went back to a smaller team. Well, now we've got a team of 10 on the ground here, based between Brisbane, Sydney and Melbourne. That team is primarily a customer success team that are focused on making the migration as simple as possible as we can for you guys. What we don't want to do is say, hey, there's a new thing, take hours to move it over. Our team are there to help, to support, to make it completely pain-free, and they will enable you to just replicate the work that you've done in Advisor across into Predict. So yes, there's a very simple process, very pain-free process, and there's also people. So if you do want to engage with our team, we have a team now on the ground in your time zone that will be able to support you and your teams with getting up and running. Okay, good. Hannah, do you want to talk about some of the other bits and pieces that you're going to, what's coming?
I just think, you know, with the, you know, for you guys who've spent some time with this, so just to give some vision as to really what's happening, you know, some of you may or may not know that we were acquired by Sage. It's a FTSE 100 company. It now means that we are absolutely funded to the hilt to be able to amplify our product development. That's what they invested in. They've invested in us as a, you know, a tech first product company, and the vision that we bring to this advisory process that we absolutely want to embed in as many accounting firms as possible. So once we have Predict at that parity plus level, and just to, who was it, Costa's point, we have, you know, we can't do consolidation until we've got reporting. So there's, you know, there's a logical step that we have to bring these things into, and that's what we're following. But the ability for you to be able to identify advisory opportunity, whether that's because of a growth client or a risk client, is at our fingertips. We need to be able to facilitate that. So my responsibility as a product leader within the business is to ensure that we are using everything at our disposal to be able to identify opportunity for you, so that ROI is generated for them, but ultimately for your practice. Can we increase average revenue per client? That's the point. You know, we're doing this because you're running businesses too. And so after Easter, once Parity Plus is done, the next focus really is to start giving you tooling that sits over the top. So for all of your organizations, that we can start looking at the data health, we can look at operational health, we can look at future health, and we can start giving you advisory alerts to push you into the right direction, to identify, well, this client needs your attention because of X, Y, Z. That's, you know, that's a massive thing. One thing that I didn't mention, or I might have done as well with the reporting, is the non-financial side of things. There's a big drivers function that's coming as well. That will be coming before consolidation. It's coming to finish off reporting. So that'll be after Christmas. Drivers will be going in there, which again, reviewing this data set. So whether you want to use it for forecasting, whether you want to use it for reporting, as a combination of the two, it's going to be a really beautiful drivers area. And then, you know, after that, well, what do we start looking at? We look at non-financial integrations, we look at those sorts of things. We've had quite a few requests for an XPM integration. Hands up if anybody wants that on the call today. But, you know, giving you the finger, you know, that at your fingertips analysis of your own firm as well as your clients' firms is really important, and what we're gunning for.
A couple of questions. So one, actually, while we talk about integrations, it's probably worth covering off. I'm sure that many of you have seen that we have been acquired by Sage. I guess it's just reassurance about our integrations into other software aside from Sage. So Hannah, you tackle that one.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we have an amazing relationship with Xero and with QuickBooks, and you know, that's not going to change. Futurely, we'll always have a standalone product, which is what you're using. Yes, there will be integrations into Sage's products as well, but that's for that customer base. But you know, like I said earlier, they've invested in us to be the leader in the advisory space, and that's what we're gunning for and want to take you on the journey with.
Is it possible to see, when it's possible to see all our organizations in one platform, will it be potential for benchmarking?
Yes. Haha, this is a good one. So a precursor to the templates going live, just as a really boring technical point, I'm not going to bore on too much, but as a precursor to that, for us to be able to standardize with our own reporting codes, we need to be able to, because of course charts of accounts are completely different across organizations. And I always use salaries as a percentage of sales, for instance, wage percentage as a KPI. Well, those salary accounts could be called something different in each one. So how do we standardize that across? Well, there'll be this mapping process, and the mapping process will then give us an opportunity, once we've got the core things that we need to get done, to be pulling in this information. So if we can standardize, salaries, direct wages, you might call them bananas, you're not, but whatever you're calling that account, as that example, if we can then standardize that process, then benchmarking is absolutely the next step. And that's also when you look at Sage and our acquisition as something that's really beneficial, because we can then get access to their data lake, which is on the roadmap for not this financial year, but next financial year. Suddenly we've got hundreds of thousands of small businesses that we can tap into as well. And again, we'll be leading the way in helping scope that.
Omar's come back on the non-financial data piece and said, what's your plans around non-financial data? Example, getting various data from websites or accounting files like top 10 clients. One thing, just to cover the top 10 clients, I actually didn't show that in the performance pages in Predict, we actually automatically generate, looking at the top clients, the top suppliers, the number of invoices, the amount paid. So all of that is actually surfaced from within Predict. But I guess, Hannah, just on the non-financial piece from data that's not in the Xero files or the cloud bookkeeping software, any thoughts or anything you can add to what you've already said around non-financial?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I call drivers. That's what they are as far as I'm concerned. Non-financial data is a driver, and drivers that can be used within forecasting, within reporting. So yeah, there's going to be a really nice piece of functionality that's going to be going live after Christmas, at some point, probably the end of January, let's be honest, but because we do have Christmas in between. But drivers are a huge part of this. Next step with that would be non-financial integrations, which is when I referenced XPM, for instance, and again, my vision would be to have CRM data and all of those sorts of things. As long as it's daily time series information, we can pull it in. So we're kind of just scratching the surface. We're getting Parity Plus as our core focus just now, and making sure that we've got everything in Advisor, but better, which is again down to, Formula Builder having if statements. It didn't have that beforehand. You couldn't reference predictions, etc., etc. So yeah, it's an exciting time. You're going to start seeing, I think one of the biggest issues when you're creating something as big as reporting is you can't do lots of little releases. You're going to get that big release on Monday, and then, my goodness, you're going to start seeing a lot of releases coming out of the gates at Futurely, because there's lots to come.
Just on a KPI, a very specific question. We've actually got an SME who's sent a message through. We are a commercial laundry. Will it be possible to enter a tonnage processed for the monthly figure, get a percentage of labour per ton, gas and electricity percentage? I guess that's with the non-fin integration.
That would be a non-financial data. You'll be able to enter that in, and then because we've got everything that we're storing is there at your disposal for you to create formulas for exactly that kind of analysis.
Somebody's asked, very boring question, but is it any additional cost from the existing Predict product because we've added so much functionality to it?
No.
All of these features are landing with no additional cost to the monthly charge. So it'll be in your account. If you're already a Predict customer from Monday, it will simply be added and you'll see it in there. For those of you that aren't Predict customers, then just go sign up for a trial and it will land in your Predict account from Monday. Now if you are new to Predict and you're on the call, there is a Black Friday deal that is 50% off for the next 3 months. So if you haven't had a go log in, take advantage of the Black Friday and really start to have a play with the reporting that Hannah has shown you. One other question just dropped in as I'm waffling on. Is this just for accountants?
No. So whilst we're absolutely, well, look, I think the point is that the end user is actually the small business. And my background is small business. I was, in hospitality. That's been my passion, to try and get our products to as many small businesses as possible. And so, of course, with accountants, we have a vehicle to be able to do that and really help them in their journey to be able to transform their business at the same time. But no, absolutely, the end user should ultimately be the small business, because we're here to try and identify operational and marginal gains, improve cash flow, look at growth opportunities, let you explore different scenarios within your business, and so on and so forth. We just want to help our accountants and advisors have the tooling to be able to have those conversations with you.
at scale. I think that's the critical thing, is this, just to add to Hannah's, I think what we've put into the workflows is that understanding of watching our accountants in the past 9 years try and scale advisory services and the roadblocks they face with trying to scale. So that's where it's a really powerful tool. The workflows are built to aid the accountant's workflow to deliver it to as many SMEs as possible. But it is absolutely also designed for the end user, the SME, when you deliver it, to find it simple to navigate, easy to use, easy to get on board with the numbers. I have been asked the cost of it. So we do charge in US dollars. So I'm going to quote you in US dollars. For an SME, it's $35 US per month. For an accountant, we have a sliding scale based on the number of licenses you purchase, but you're looking at around $19 US per month per client. But of course, that doesn't include Black Friday discount. So you can half those numbers. I'll let you do that yourself. You're all accountants, you can work it out. But yeah, get in touch with the team and they'll make sure that you're set up correctly. For the accountants on the call, we again have updated our understanding of our accounting partners, has also fed into our pricing for our accountants. We don't do these big bulk packages anymore where you've got empty licenses that you're not utilizing. It's about enabling you to buy per license per client. So we've got total unit-based pricing. So if you've got 15 clients that need it, we will simply charge you for 15 clients, and you can add to it with every client that you want to add on a monthly basis. So really, really simple, easy to understand pricing that you can then attribute very easily back to that individual client. I think, oh, hold on, there might be one more question. Hold on, and it's just because I hadn't answered it. I think that is it for the questions. A couple more minutes if anybody wants to smash in any questions or give us your thoughts. I think this is the first time we've shown reporting out to our Australian clients. It'll be really interesting to see what your feedback is and initial responses. And otherwise, I think we'll let you all get on with this beautiful sunny day in Australia. No, there are no more questions. No one has any thoughts or comments on it, which I hope means that's good news. But our team will be in touch with those who have joined. We will be sharing a recording of this session. It will land in your inbox very shortly. So please do share with your team or rewatch. But reach out if you have any questions or want to see more. But here's to Monday when reporting lands.